Hey, welcome to the new Area 51 Raceway. Got the track yesterday night. Was pretty tired. Had to work in the morning, so I didn't have much time to do much. I did a quick live for 6 minutes. Kevin came over and laid everything out, and looks good. Everything fits perfectly, no problems. What I am going to do is I'm going to have the long straight, which is this section, on that side of the track, toward the wall there, because I had this. We just put it this way, just for to see everything fit. Now, I am going to fill in a little bit here. There's not much to fill in. Like, there's a teeny bit here, and I'm going to use a little wood filler, let it dry, and then I'm going to sand down the surface with 320 grit, and then I'm going to clean the gains with a, it's like a Scotch-Brite, I'll show you, and then I'm going to basically prep it and then paint it. I've already picked up my paint, and we already selected the color and everything, which is Krypton Gray. The name was mainly picked because, Krypton, Superman was an alien, so the track is alien themed, so that's why we went with that color. So let's head over to the garage. I'm going to show you what I have there and what I'm going to be doing, and we'll get to start the painting and prepping and then painting. So join me in the garage over here. So here we are in the garage, and I've started this piece right here, which is the hairpin section. Now what you're going to want is some nice wood filler. You could use the Minwax kind, or you could get the other kind, which is the dry decks. It's like a spackling, which will work fine. I've used it on the other one. And this one will take longer to dry, about 2 hours. This one's a little bit quicker, more like 20 minutes. So depending on how much time you have, and then or how much time you want to spend letting it dry is what it is. And then these are for the gains. This is the 3M heavy duty stripping pads, and these are available at Lowe's. And then a putty knife to kind of apply the the spackle or what you're using, and then a 320 grit. You could use sandpaper, but I choose to use this because I like how you could move it about. Now, and then the thing you want to do is make sure, obviously, that there's no, sometimes the dowels may sink a little more than others, which is not a big deal. All you're going to do is just put a little wood filler. So you could use wood filler. This will take a little bit longer to dry, about 2 hours. And if it's a deeper hole, I think a quarter or more, it's like 4 to 6 hours. So this will take longer. Or you could use some spackling, which this is quicker. I think this takes 20 minutes. It dries pretty fast because this is what I used on the other piece. And then what you're going to do is, after you get it all sanded down, this is a great little pad. It's a 320. It's called a super sponge. So it's 320 grit is what you're going to use to just basically just sand lightly the surface. You don't want to take a ton off. This stuff looks like it's pretty dried already too. And all you're going to do is just give it a little pass to clean whatever you've filled in. And you see that's nice and smooth. And all you're doing is just giving this a little pass like that. You can do it to the surface itself. The whole surface of the track is what I'm doing. And actually that wood stuff dried pretty quick, the wood filler, so it wasn't 2 hours. That was a lot faster. But you can see I've smoothed it all down. And all I'm doing is just giving a little pass and just making it, nice and smooth. Not that it wasn't smooth, but just sanding down a little. And then for the gains, I'm using the 3M heavy duty stripping pads. And these have a perfect shape for the gains. And Harry had this on his video when he did his track, the oval, many years ago. And you're doing is you're just going this and giving it a nice, quick sweep. Just, if you need to break it up a little just to make it a little smoother. Sometimes the gain will leave the gain bit will leave a little spot. But as you can see, it's nice and fits in there perfectly, and you just clean it up easy. And there you have it. Now you see there's, a little dust everywhere and stuff. So what I did was I brought my shop vac, because I do have an air compressor here, but I didn't want to blow everything all over the place. So all I'm going to do is get my shop vac and sweep it up, or, suck it up here. There you go. You can see it marked a little from my passing there, but again, you can just like that, and it's gone. This surface is really smooth. It's really nice. Then once you're done, you can give it a little wipe down with, paper towel if you want. It's really not a big deal. Everything looks good. Everything is really smooth the way it should be. Seeing all these look pretty good. I don't see it being an issue. And then this is pretty much ready to paint, and it's going to be really nice, pretty simple to paint like I painted the other piece. So we'll go ahead and we'll start. Okay, I have my paint ready to go here. I've got my cup and poured some paint. All I'm going to do is I'm rolling this on with a sponge roller they use for cabinets. I'm just going to start rolling the paint onto the surface. And it's going to take about one coat for the absorption of the wood. The wood will soak it up. And then the next coat, for a second application, and then I'll probably do a third one because I want to make sure I get the paint on here nice and. We're on our way. There is the first coat of the new Area 51 Raceway. Pretty cool. Pretty excited about this. And there you have it. We'll let this dry and then we'll do another coat. Okay, we got everything painted. And now you see me, I'm going to use the square dowels to connect the pieces of the track. And what I've done is made a little chamfer on there. As you can see, the square dowels to make them go a little easy. So I got a piece of 320 grit, or actually 80 grit sandpaper. Sanded the edges off, the ones that I'm going to drive into the square hole. And as it focuses there, you see I got a little chamfer. Then I'm going to insert the dowel there, and I'm using a little like punch. You could use a punch or a metal, dowel. Got a hammer, and you're going to tap them in lightly. This way you get them a little lined up. If they're a little crooked, just move over a little bit, on the side. There you go. You see as I'm driving it in, and they go in just like that. And I got one part way in there because I want to make sure they're all lining up with the bottom piece of the, the square hole underneath. Because there's the top and, the bottom piece of the dovetails. You see I missed a little there, and then I'm going to just reinsert it, and then you see how it's kind of wobbly. Just kind of get it a little straight as best you can, a little tap. And then they drive in right there just like that. Nothing very difficult. And as you see, I keep sanding the dowels, which I should have done first because I'm sanding them off camera. And there's a total of 5 dowels, so 1 in the middle, 2 on each end. You can see clearly there I kind of line it up. Make sure you don't get your fingers or anything. See, I went a little crooked. No big deal. All you do is take it out again, reline it. That's why you chamfer the edges, so this way the corners don't get caught as easily. And see, I straighten it out there, and there you go, pounding it in. And not too hard to do, very easy process. It's not a difficult thing. Again, just take your time driving them in there. Do not rush, and do not split them or any way, which you shouldn't be able to if you doing it right. But generally those pieces of wood shouldn't really split at all. So you just drive them in there easily. It's not hard to do. You just got to make sure it's lined up when you get it in there. Obviously, you will know when it's not lined up if the dowel is not going in. If you hit it, you'll know you'll have a problem. You can see that's a little crooked. I just straightened it out there. I didn't like how that went. There it goes. Now it goes in. I tucked it in a little bit more so I could get deeper in there. You could. It's when Kevin has got this down a little bit more, because remember, I'm a beta tester, so whatever the mistakes will happen during the assembly, he's taken care of. So this way, when he sends a customer track, it'll be really super easy to put together. You can see the surfaces are lined up there, and you get a piece of 2x4, and what you're doing, you're trying to flatten all that out, make it smooth. Now you will have to fill that in, and as you can see, I'm hitting it more to make sure that it's pushing down on the second layer of the track and to make it even. But again, like I said, you will have to fill this in. You could use super glue, you could use filler, and then you just sand the surface down to even, and that's it for that part right there. Here we are. the track has been assembled. I have sanded and painted it. This is what it looks like. It took a little work to get to this point. Now remember, this is a beta test track. So there's some things that you're not going to have to do when you get your track if you order one. A lot of things Kevin is doing is to make it more of an improvement so that this way when the person that orders the track will have to do very minimal stuff. But you will have to sand. When you get these joints together, there's points that you'll have to sand, you know, fill in and sand the little gaps and make it nice and smooth. And as you can see, all the surface is really smooth so that the cars are not going over bumps. So pretty much I got it the best how I could do it, but I don't see no problems here. And again, this track is really awesome. I really like the design, and as you can see, I got an elevation here. I also got the Home Racing World sign as well. You can see I've elevated this section right here to get the track more depth, and I could put, you know, something in between here, you know, how would you say, maybe mountain area or whatever you want to do scenery. This is not going to be heavily scenery, but it will have some scenery and we'll have some signage. It will have lights. I will have lights around the track. But again, this is an awesome pattern, and I think this is really cool how this has been designed. And again, you will have to sand. And then when you do paint this, I painted it on that sawhorse because I wanted to show just the painting process of it. But it would be better that you do assemble the track first, drive your dowels in, and then do your filler, and then sand, and make it smooth, and then put your first coat. And it is recommended by Kevin when you do your first soaker coat, you use 120 to do a sanding on it. This is a way to create better adhesion of the paint. And then after you sand with 120 on your first coat, put a second coat on, and you could use 2000 to sand it really lightly. It doesn't take much to sand. You can get a block or go like this to sand it down. And then put your final coat, and this is what you get. And I would let the paint sit for a couple of days because you want it to cure. And then of course you tape the lanes, and then you paint the lanes as well. And painting the lanes are pretty easy. What I have used is what is called, and I got them here, they're condiment bottles. So this is what they are. You can get these at the dollar store. They come in a pack for $1. You fill it with your colored paint. You tip this over. You squeeze a light amount. You get a paintbrush, which I have over here. I'll show you. These are also dollar store paintbrushes. And then I basically just did this to get a good coat of paint in the slot. And colored real nicely, so no problem. And that's what I did to paint the lanes, and then let it set overnight, peel off the tape. Now you can see some areas they're going to be covered by the gain, so even if they're not perfect, as long as they're not on the surface of the track, they're in between the gain here, because the braid is going to cover the gain area right here, because you're not going to see that. You're just going to see the center part of the lane and that you painted. And not very hard to do. Again, you will need to do some sanding and of course painting, but the way I suggested it, and that Kevin suggested you do it that way. I did it a little bit more work, a little bit harder, because I painted the pieces first and put it together, and then I had to sand them. Then I had to fill it, the connection points, then I had to sand it, and then I painted it again, and then I sanded it with 120. And then I painted it again, and I sanded it with 2000, and I put a final coat. So this has got a lot of coat of paints on it. You don't need to go that far. I just kind of did a little bit more work for myself because, again, I'm a beta tester, and I didn't really ask Kevin on how he sanded his. I just went about how I did it. But it is best to do a soaker, do a soaker coat, sand it 120, and then put another coat, sand it 2000. And then put your final coat. You're just trying to get a nice, adhesion of the paint, and you should be good to go. But this is the end result of it, and it's really cool. I'm really excited about this, and really an honor to be the first beta tester of this track, because he's currently building a track for somebody in Oval. So I'm going to see if I can get involved with that and helping him putting it together, because he is improving his processes. So this way, when the customer gets the piece of MDF, it looks really good. You'll have to do very little to it, except for, you know, sanding and filling the connection points, and then just painting it and doing a little sanding in between the coats. Now this is something real cool I want to show you. Now these are you know, guardrails, and they're made from Kevin's product, the MDF, and as you can see, he's imprinted my logo, my track, which I think is super cool. Now, if you have a logo of your track or a name, you could do this, depending how complex the logo is. And it's an extra charge, just so you know. This doesn't come with the track. The guardrails, the lights that I'll be putting in, that's all extra stuff. You do get the track, as he describes. He's including the electrical, you know, the gains being cut, driver stations, and it shows you what the things you need to do that are not included, that you had to, you know, complete the ensemble. But these are really cool. I got a couple of these, and they're basically going to go around just like this around the corner, and we're going to have the track logo. Now I am going to paint these, but what I'm going to do, instead of painting these, I'm going to stain these, because they have a gray that I like, and I want to see if we can make sure we see the artwork. Even if you painted this, you could see the artwork on it. I just wanted to use the stain because I prefer the stain. I think, to me, it's easier to stain stuff than actually paint it. But you know, this stuff, as you can see, I did the cases, staining them, and the signs as well, like the Home Racing World, that's stained, painted. So another added cool feature, and looking forward to doing more things to the track. But I just wanted to show you, this is the end result of everything. The cars run nice and smooth through everything, and kind of running through, really nice. Nice precise cut slot, and I'm really gonna have a great time when we get the braid laid down, and that'll be the next step, and I'll be doing that in a few days. I'm not in a rush right now. I'm done a lot of work painting and sanding, so but I just hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, please email me and or message me on the Area 51 Raceway NC Facebook page, and I could get you some answers. You can also contact Kevin as well on his website. And again, this is a beta test track, so a lot of things that I'm doing you most likely don't have to do, which is a lot of the sanding of the dowel areas, the round dowels. He'll have that all made sure that's nice and smooth, so this way all you have to worry about is driving in the square dowels to connect the pieces, and that part you'll have to sand. But again, there is a little sanding required, and painting, of course, because you have to paint the surface of the track. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's it from Area 51 Raceway. Thanks again, and have fun racing.